All right, guys, what is the #1 stroke in tennis? I'll give you a second. I'm not going anywhere. Go in the comment box below and comment it. We're going to read those and we're going to tell you if it's the right answer or not. All right, guys, what do you think is #1 stroke in tennis? And I'm going to stay here and not going anywhere. Go in the comment box below and write it. So we're going to tell if it's right or not. So in our opinion, it's the serve. And you guys know it because it's the first stroke. In any point that you're going to play, your opponent is going to serve or you're going to serve, and it's a very important shot. If you have a good serve, you can win a lot of points considerably easy. Now, if we talk about the serve itself, what's the most important part of the serve? And I truly believe it's the toss. If you have a very consistent toss and you get the toss every time in the same spot and you can have the same point of contact, your serve is going to be that much better. Don't you agree with me, guys? I'm sure you are. And how many of you, raise your hand right now. Nobody can see you, you're probably sitting in the room and watching on your iPhone or the regular phone. How many of you have a perfect toss, 100% of the time going in the same place? Raise your hand. And I'm bet 75% of you do not have a good consistent toss. That's why we created a video where we're gonna help you guys out with small tips how to get your toss so much better. So let's start talking about the toss itself. So how do you hold the ball when some just simple things that can help you out. Now, one of the most common mistakes that people do, not paying attention, they actually hold the ball right in the bottom of their hand like that. All right, so that's actually very hard to control their toss. Their arm is banded, so when they toss the ball, they just go like this and they throw it up in the air, and every part of their arm is moving. So what happens? It's very unstable. The toss moves all over the place. It goes behind you, it goes in front of you, it goes to the sides and all that, and people just adjust to that toss. #2 is that after that happens, let's say you don't have a consistent toss. It is a problem, but still you can manage it if you don't hit every single bad toss. Now, what do you do? Sometimes you toss the ball behind you and you're still trying to hit the serve and you miss it. Instead, make sure, okay, it's a bad toss, not a big deal. Just don't hit that serve and make sure to toss the ball again. Do not rush with it. Pick the best tosses you can. It's going to help you out quite a bit. #3 problem that a lot of people do, they do a rocking motion, which is very common when people get set up and they rock, right? But they toss the ball as they rock backwards. So this is what it looks like. They toss, they go backwards. So what happens? Their toss looks to them at the beginning, because they're moving their body weight to the back foot, it's there in front of them. But in reality, as they start moving forward and jumping up inside of the court, they're going to actually pass their toss and they're going to hit behind them. So what happens? They cannot watch the ball properly. So a lot of times they hit the ball on the top of the frame or, other side. So we want to make sure if you do have a rocking motion, rock back without doing absolutely anything with the toss related. And as you start rocking forward, that's when you're going to toss the ball. Very easy, and you can get the toss out in front. The only problem you might face with the toss kind of going too far away from you, which you just have to adjust that a little bit, but it's a much minor problem than having the toss going way behind you. Okay? All right, guys, so we're going to start with just simple tips on your toss, so how to hold the ball. Let's start with that. So one of the important parts, I'm going to get closer a little bit so you guys can see. So there's a few ways. Some people hold it on the tip of all 5 fingers like that. Some people do 4 or 3, so I wouldn't suggest to go 2, obviously, just not stable. So somewhere on the tip of the fingers. Now the way you're going to toss, you can toss straight up, or you can hold it like a can of Coke and you toss the ball up like that as well. So whichever is more comfortable. Some people do it one way, some people another, but those are most common ways to toss the ball. It's more stable. Now, positioning of your arm. When you start, some people start with the ball on the sweet spot of the racket. Some people start in the bottom of the frame, kind of holding on a little bit to the frame. Some people do it in the throat. That I find sometimes a little bit unstable, because as you release the racket, sometimes the ball might roll out of your hand. I had some students that do it and the ball just goes like across the baseline. It gets a little bit annoying. So whichever way is fine. Some people hold it under the frame. So that's all good, whatever is comfortable for you guys. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest to have your racket away from the ball like this and trying to toss just too many elements moving in different directions. So, but as soon as you find, okay, this is the way you're going to hold it on the tip of 3, 4, or 5 fingers, and the way you're going to toss the ball, your arm has to be straight. Make sure you don't bend it, and toss the ball very gently. Okay, so make sure you do not rush with it. A lot of people just literally throw it. Now, also, Find out when you toss the ball the best way. I would even suggest to record yourself and find out the release point. Very important part. Make sure you don't release the ball in all different parts. You can release here, there, there. You find if it's on your eye level and you find this is the time when you release the ball and the ball goes properly right in the perfect spot. That's when you want to release the ball all the time. That's the spot where you're going to release the ball. Don't release the ball then above your head and then below your eye level. So find out which the release point is the most appropriate for you, how fast you got to swing with your arm. Also, if you have a delayed swing or you have a full swing, also make sure that all the elements are moving together at the same time. You're not rushing with it, and that will give you the most appropriate toss and most appropriate serve for you. So guys, so a couple of things you can do just to kind of see if your toss is good or not. After you did all these elements, we're gonna place our own racket inside of the court like that, right in front of you. And we're gonna stay right behind it. So our goal is actually to, after the toss, the ball to hit right on the racket or somewhere a part of the racket, and see how precise we can do. So we're gonna get set up, make sure everything's straight, you're doing your motion, you toss, and the ball has to jump right on the racket. And we're gonna do it again, like that, and see if it's gonna hit the racket like that. Perfect. So try to see if you can put 2, 3, 4, 5 of those tosses, getting narrowed down. Another thing you could do also, if you have a basketball hoop in the backyard, you're playing basketball or whatnot, you see if there's a hoop and try to toss through the hoop, and the ball's gonna go up and down, straight up and down. It will be perfect for you. Of course, there's another way to serve when people toss the ball slightly from the side and they curve the toss a little bit. That's also okay. So this is small tips that can help you out tremendously to improve your toss, which is gonna help you serve unbelievably. More precise and consistent your toss is, that much better your serve. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching our video today. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. We'll post so much cool stuff there. And thank you.